Hello everyone, this is Raji here, and in this tutorial we are going to learn about Swift literals. So let's start. Click on Xcode. We'll create a new playground. I'll name it as Swift Constants. So I'm saving this file to my desktop. As you can see, the file has been created on my desktop. Now let's start working on it. Basically, what is a literal first? A literal is a source code representation of a value of an integer, maybe floating point number or a string type. Let's take some examples of literals. We'll first start understanding of string literal. I mean how to create a string literal. So basically, what is a string literal? A literal is a sequence of characters surrounded by double quotes. So for example, let's take an example. I'll create a constant. So as you know, constant is always created using the let keyword. So I have created here a constant named string literal. And as I have mentioned in the definition that string literal is a sequence of characters around. So as I have mentioned, a string literal. So I have created a string literal named string literal, which has the value of this is a string literal and it is surrounded by double quotes. So basically this particular part is a string literal. And if I print this thing, it will show me the value that this is a string literal. So guys, that's it about string literals. Now we'll move on to integer literals. What is an integer literal? An integer literal can be a decimal, binary, octal, or hexadecimal constant. Binary literals begin with octal literals OB, and octal literals begin with O0O. So let's take some examples of integer literals. I'm creating few constant over here, and I'm naming this constant decimal integer. Assigning this a value of 20. I'm creating another constant, and this is a binary integer. So as I have discussed with you, an integer literal can be decimal, binary, octal, or hexadecimal. Binary literals begin with 0b. So here I'm creating a binary literal, so it will begin with 0b and then followed by some value. So this is how a binary integer or a binary literal will look like. So as you can see, the decimal integer 20 is printed over here and the binary integer value has been printed over here. And the next integer literal is octal literal. I'll create an octal constant. and an octal constant begins with 0 O followed by any number. So here I have created an octal literal and I have assigned a value of 002. So it is printing me the value of that particular octal literal on the right hand side. Now the last literal is hexadecimal literal. So hexadecimal literals begin with 0x followed by any number. So these are the four types of integer literals. It contains of decimal literal, binary integer, binary literal, octal and hexadecimal. Now let's move on to floating point literals. So what is a floating point literal? A floating point literal has an integer part, a decimal point, a fractional part and an exponent part. You can represent floating point literals either in decimal form or in an hexadecimal form. So let's start with some examples of understanding of floating point literals. So I am creating a constant, a decimal constant, and another one an exponent double. So as I have mentioned, a floating point literal has an integer part, a decimal point and a fractional part and an exponent part. So we'll look at this. I'm creating an exponent literal and the last part is I'm creating a hexadecimal floating point literal. So as you can see, I have created a decimal floating point literal, exponent floating literal, and as I have mentioned, floating point literal has an integer part, then a decimal point, a fractional part, and an exponent part. So this is the decimal floating point literal, and this is an exponent. So it has an integer part, a floating point, and a fractional part, and an exponent part. And this is a hexadecimal representation of a floating point literal. Hexadecimal floating point literal. And now the last literal is Boolean literals. So basically, what is a Boolean literal? A Boolean literal will always represent yes or no, true or false, or it can contain a nil value. So let's take some example. And there are three basic types of Boolean literals, and they are part of standard Swift keywords. So I'll create a Boolean literal. So here I have created two Boolean literals. I have created two constants. One is true value and the other is false value. So true value, I am saving a value of true in it, which will always return true. And false value, I am creating a false literal with a value of false in it. So guys, that's it for now. In this tutorial, you will learn about literals, various variety, types of literals like string, integer, floating point literals, and Boolean literals. In our next tutorial, we are going to learn about Swift strings. So guys, thank you for watching this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. See you see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.